Welcome back, party people. We've got a cool series on our hands here, don't we, Mr. Data? And last series, Vitagen took the 2-0 against Ragnarok. Now we've got Black Manta against Primordials. The stakes here are unreal. There is a total of 1 Nexus kill in the entire split between these two teams. And one of those teams has 8 wins.
Yeah, I mean, the first series was kind of, in my opinion, whatever, because these are
Yeah,
two very
whatever.
strong teams heading into this. Of course, it was entertaining for the both of us, but this is where the real bread and butter is. This is where you make the big bucks. Like we said earlier, it is gonna be Black Manta versus Primordials. At the moment, Black Manta sitting, like you said, 8-8, and Primordials at the moment sitting at a solid 2-14. So
Oh,
definitely,
yeah.
the stakes are higher, I would argue, for Black Manta than it is for Primordials.
Yeah, stakes much higher. And as we said, this is going to be the last chance now for Black Manta to get into that playoff spot. And I think this is going to be so important for them to for them to win this out. I see Laser Break, you've asked a question, what happened first series? Vitagen took down Ragnarok 2-0, so that is that. And now we've got Black Manta against Primordials. I think we're going to head straight into the draft here. As, yeah, Dasa, bottom teams, they dropped very differently to the top teams. It's a lot more chaotic. What can we expect from BLM and Primordials in this draft?
I think we can expect exactly what you said. We can expect some chaos coming through. Of course, like you said, this is do or die for BLM, right? This is where they need to get the big wins, of course. For those of you who have been paying attention to the punishment channel in the Discord, both of these teams, or Black Manta, is gonna be losing in this first game, they're gonna be losing their first and fourth ban, and Primordials are gonna be losing their first, second, and fourth ban for locking in their rosters a little bit too late. So that's why if you see any empty bans coming through, it is because they don't get the bans. But Sovanix, do you have any sort of standout bans you expect to be coming through? Is there any champions that you immediately, when you think of Black Manta, you're like, yeah, this champion pops into my head?
So I think the thing about Black Manta is, despite their standings, and I mean, to be honest, it's a weird one because they haven't really been playing League of Legends, right? So it's hard to compare them. They kind of just get 3 wins. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's like they're in contention for playoffs without having to play a single game. It's great. I'd love to see it. But no, I think one individual that I need to highlight for BLM is Denzer. I think a lot of the league is really sleeping on him. He is a really good player. I think in previous splits, he showed that he's a good player, and he showed that he can go toe-to-toe with the best that the SLE has had to offer. And sadly, we just haven't seen much of him play. So, yeah, but I rate him very, very highly. In BLM, they've got a lot of SLE veterans, and so do Primordials. So when it comes to picks, there are things like, Denza, such a fantastic Victor player. He plays the Akali and the Vex, a signature champion of his as well. You see bans coming through, Primordials, Nidus's champion pool. I'm thinking Syndra, Ari, really, really good on those champions. So the focus on the Syndra is taken out there. But I expect both team comps to build full team fight. I expect a 5v5 team comp from both teams.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're generally looking at sort of lower bracket teams, it tends to be more, in my opinion, more streamlined, which is weird to say, because when you think of lower bracket teams, you sort of think of worse drafts than top teams. But in my opinion, if you are a lower bracket team, if you opt in for a team fight comp, and there is already for the Primordials, the Ari that you brought up
Yeah.
earlier, but if you opt for more of a team fight comp, they are generally easier to pull off than anything else in League when it comes to sort of 5v5 setting. And so far, we are seeing the Orianna from the side of Black Manta, we are seeing Ari from the side of Primordials, which could obviously lead us down a numerous route. Orianna at the moment is one of, if not the best lane in the mid lane, but Jhin is a champion that we never see.
Yeah, we don't see this one too often. I think correct me if I'm wrong, the only other player in the SLE to take this was Kanza against Beast Team Esports. But yeah, I really like what Black Manta have done here, first picking the Oriana. This is something that we've seen a lot at Worlds. And Ninus answers it with the Ari. Matchup-wise, actually very good for Oriana, but Ninus taking that comfort pick, so understandably so. And BLM locking in the Jinx and Jarvan. This is not great for the Jin.
Yeah, this is you're looking at a champion that has no mobility, and you're looking at a Jarvan on the other side with a
Yeah.
Cataclysm that can just lock you down. I would personally love a Thresh here from the side of Primordials. I know they don't exactly play it. I know it's not something they are known for, but I think it would work very well into the side of Black Manta. But it's gonna be the Volibear so far, and no support picks coming through for them. Volibear in the top lane or in the jungle can go in which either way. But Sylvanix, give me your prediction on this Volibear. Do you think it's gonna be in the top lane, or do you think we might potentially see some jungle bear?
We could potentially see the jungle bear. I believe this will be a flex pick. I don't know if Arlefeld is playing jungle for this series. If he is, I know Volibear was a champion that he played a lot in the past.
I
Primor-
can confirm that Adefeld is support.
Oh, okay, he's support. So this Volibear probably could go into the top lane. I think Slayon played it as well. So wouldn't be surprised if the Volibear goes top lane. But also wouldn't be surprised if Volibear goes into the Jarvan because, you know, you don't necessarily want to blind top lane too often. The Jarvan was already picked, so I can imagine that Primordials was like, let's pick jungle here. They do go for the Volibear. Primordials have a very old school SLE team composition. I don't know why, but this reminds me of like Split 1, Split 2 draft, and BLN reminded me of Split 3 draft. This is a really big trip down memory lane. I can't lie. I hope Mikus is in the chat because I feel like I've stepped into a time machine here. What is going on?
Definitely for those who stuck around a little bit longer, or some of our older fans, some of our veterans watching, this is definitely gonna give you some throwbacks and some memories to those older splits. But so far as well, like we said earlier, a couple of punishments coming through, so Primordials are gonna be missing out on a couple of these stage 2 bans. But like you said, and just want to clarify as well while we're on the subject, considering Primordials did end up doing a couple of roster swaps, I just want to say that it is gonna be for them Slan XD in the top lane, Why the Wolves in the jungle, Linus in the mid lane, Rysharn in the AD carry role, and like I said earlier, Adefeld in that support position. So definitely, I'm expecting at least something big coming out of Primordials. You know, this is a team that a lot of people hyped up before the split even started. This is a team that a lot of players were, and a lot of teams were like, yeah, this is gonna be a big team. They're gonna, be a really hard team to contest for the player spot. And suddenly, they find themselves at 2-on-12. So definitely not the ideal split for them, but I'm interested to see if they can actually make a dent in BLM's playoff run. And this is, in my opinion, the biggest game we're gonna have this week when it comes to playoff contention.
Yeah, and BLM, they're trying to secure themselves that sneaky little spot towards the end of the playoffs. And speaking of Primordials, an unfortunate split, but I did speak to Ninnis, asking her about what the decision making was with everyone swapping roles, because we saw in the last series against Powder Monkeys, there were big signs of life, and that was without practice on them on their main roles. Arlefeld still playing support, so still off rolling while the Worlds and Arlefeld, but I think the truth is Primordials, if they were all playing their main roles, I think it's a different story. They're not 2-12. They're probably contesting BLM for that last playoff spots in this game. But unfortunately, Ninnis did say that they wanted to try something different. They wanted to spice it up, which is understandable, and I respect it. I actually appreciate the fact that they were looking for something different. But yeah, unfortunately, they are completely knocked out. They are out of the SLE playoff contention, but they will try and play spoiler here for BLM as Kale gets locked in for Slayer and played it against Powder Monkeys last time. Very excited to see that one, as I remember he did hit level 16, but they didn't quite close out the game. And Desa, drafts are locked in. As I said, team fight compositions, except I think BLM's looks a lot stronger.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, Sovanix, we were talking about the team fight comps, and both of these teams are probably opting in that direction. I'm seeing the most stock standard team fight comp coming out of BL, and this is something that we've seen millions of times. right? You put Ornn in the top lane, a beefy boy, some engage. You put Jarvan in the jungle, you get some early game pressure, and I mean, Jinx Milliel, old, a bot lane that's old as times, right? A perfect synergy coming through. Both of these champions did get buffed in a patch that happened a couple of weeks ago as well. Definitely in very strong positions when it comes to those two. And for me, I'm gonna toss my prediction over to the side of BLM. I feel like they have a pretty stock standard team fight comp that goes really, really well together. I feel like Raisharan is gonna struggle to play the game on a Jhin when it comes to an Orange Jarvan on the other side. But do you think you agree with me, or do you think you're gonna side with Primordials for this game one?
I think I will have to agree with you. BLM definitely have a much better team composition, much well rounded as well. This Ornn not facing too much threat from the Ori and the Jhin. Of course, if that Kale can ramp up to level 16, that's where it's a different conversation. But they got to get there first, and they will be in the face of a Jarvan who will be able to run around the map and making plays. Ninus on the Ori though, not someone you can count out. I think last time played against Kaneki. Moment of silence, lest we forget. But yeah, played against Kaneki last time, or previously, has played against Kaneki and got many solo kills into a Victor matchup, which, you know, as I said, this matchup not great for Ari, but neither is the Victor matchup. Alderfeld is just going to face check a bush here. Already that Rakan brought to half HP.
Yeah, Adefeld losing most of his HP, which means any sort of engaged threat, any threat of caliber or Wishy being in danger from an early level 2 from an early level 3 is basically gone. Because if you engage on this Rakan, yeah, there is no ignite, there is no exhaust in that bot lane from the side of DLM, but still it is gonna be a very quick death for you. You can see Caliber opting in for the Ghost and Flash. They are primarily from the side of Black Manta just looking to chill down in that bot lane, looking to just scale on up on this Jinx Milio, as you tend to do. But in the top lane, Slan already playing very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive indeed. You can see the Kale up against the tank, a very good matchup for him, but with maybe now hitting level 2. I think level 3, this is where it gets a little bit tricky for the Kale, but until then, can play aggressive Sloan. Doing this very well. 6 CS to 0, or 1, sorry. It's really good. But I think if you're on, you're kind of fine being behind, you're chilling. But yeah, you talk about summoner spells, Caliber, no cleanse against Rakan, Volibear, Ari, and we'll see if that gets punished at a later stage in the game.
Yeah, definitely so. And as well, you can already see Slan has that early push on, and kind of what you expect from a range versus melee matchup, as Kale does have a lot more poke in his kit than the Orange tends to do. The grasp as well is a little bit questionable in my opinion, just because yeah, you do tend to go for it when you're on the Orange, but never mind, as mentally unstable.
Oh, Slayon. He does see Jarvan over the ward, but a little bit too late and mentally unstable. Might look for the flag, and Drag Slayon does have both summoners available. No teleport, so if you die here, it's going to be rough. So we'll flash away from that. And Kale's flash already blown early doors. Not great for Slayon.
Yeah, definitely not. I think he might have. Obviously, this is going to hypotheticals. He didn't end up dying, but with the reduced death timers we had a couple of patches ago, I think he would have been fine. Just because Ornn isn't the fastest champion in the world to push waves. Might have missed a couple of CS, but I think outside of that wouldn't have been the worst deal in the world. Definitely not ideal to give out Jarvan a kill in the early game, but already Slan without a flash that wave is going to be bouncing back towards maybe, which means if mentally unstable wants to make another visit into the top lane, definitely can do so. You can see him opting in for a base at the mud, but if he does end up opting in for a topside play with this dragon coming up in 50 seconds, you could lose pressure in this bot side, and you are definitely looking as mentally unstable on the Jarvan to contest these early drakes. Whether your lanes allow you to do that, whether you have the prio for it, is another question entirely. But Jarvan as a champion, and I feel like mentally unstable as a player, is really looking to play aggressive in the early game and really looking to contest these early objectives.
Definitely so. I think taking a look at the way the lanes are playing out, we see pushes coming in from Primordials' bot lane. I think what that kind of spells is an opportunity now for mentally unstable to look for a gank, because they're already in the bot side here. But yeah, quite early game so far. I doubt BLM are going to overforce anything, because they're I mean, they naturally outscale, so they'll be fine playing this slowly.
Yeah, definitely so. And so far, we are seeing both of these teams play
Oh.
quite slowly. Archerm in the mid lane, but Dennis not having the most damage in the world in these early levels on Ori, as well as having that teleport in his back pocket means there isn't exactly a major kill threat in that mid lane. And like I said earlier, mentally unstable, looking for an early Drake, and that is exactly what he is gonna find. A Hextech Drake as well means Hextech Soul is gonna be out of contention, but so far I feel like a Hextech Drake is very good to have in the early game, especially on champions like a Jinx who enjoy some early bit of attack speed, but a trade in the top
Oh,
lane.
straight in the top lane, Slayer having to use the Ghost. There's maybe Ghost aggressive on the Ornn. Yeah. As the Drake gets secured by BLM, so good start from them. They are a little bit behind as the Call of the Forge God gets called on into Slayon as the level 6 gets reached. And BLM maybe gonna get a solo kill onto the Kayle in the top lane.
Slayon, my friend, without a flash, that is a dangerous position to be in, and with the wave bouncing back towards him, maybe ends up getting 6.
Knock off onto Caliber, and the 2v2 is going to break out. The trap's going to trap down 2 members of Primordials. There's while the Wolves going to hang around in the back, meaning some protection from Primordials as they push the wave in. But yeah, that first blood coming in. Now BLM get the gold lead in their hands. It is very slim, only 300 golds, right? But good start from them.
Yeah, definitely so, and gold lead, like we said, on the side of BLM at the moment with the first blood they ended up getting earlier on, and you can see maybe obtaining a little bit of armor as well to make his laning phase easier.
Oh, another lovely knockout from Alafeld as he is looking for Caliber when he steps up for Farb. Fourth shot comes in, but that's the go button for Caliber to step forward, using the Crockets there. He's trying to look for some crits, and Alafeld forcing the flash out of Caliber. Caliber doing the damage onto Russian. Russian is going to fall, get excited, and the bot lane of Primordials are going to get wiped up. Double kill coming in for Caliber in the bot lane.
Very, very well played from Caliber right there on that Jinx, the flash to get himself out of harm's way, the heal coming out from Wish. It just the Black Manta bot lane playing absolutely beautifully, mentally unstable, looking for a little bit of vision in the enemy jungle over towards that top side of the map. But so Phoenix, we were talking about the scaling of BLM's bot lane. We were talking about them wanting to chill. Definitely, you don't want to see your bot lane getting 2v2 killed early on, as you could just see Raishern stepping up a little bit too far. Caliber, and just, this flash is so good coming out from him. A little bit of an overstep from Raishern, but more fighting in the mid lane.
Fight in the mid lane as Alafeld's Ignite will tick down onto Denza. Ninnis and Alafeld make the play in the mid lane, so Primordials get themselves a kill back, and we talk about the stakes of this game. BLM, they are inches away from securing a playoff spot. They really need to win this game, and mistakes like that is going to cost them dearly.
Yeah, definitely so. Wolves is gonna be starting this Herald over in the top side. I'm not entirely sure if he used the plant to make it over the wall, so he might not be spotted out, but could look for a play in the top side, could look for a play in the mid lane. Maybe it's gonna be under a little bit of threat though.
Yeah, as maybe is going to spot this out. Why the Wolves almost finishing out the Herald, so this will be secured. Jarvan in the bot side, so won't be taken as Super Mega Death Rocket will get used to try and steal that away, but the Herald secured by Why the Wolves. But now, mentally unstable in bot lane, actually skipping out on the red buff. Trish, gonna walk up aggressively. The zap is gonna land onto Alafeld as they will, kind of escape away for free as yeah, you can see BLM trying to force a play, knowing that Primordials get the Herald, and they will get the Herald for free.
Yeah, and I mean, no flash, no heal on Raishern, right? This is exactly where you want to be, and Raishern, I feel like he's just fine. This wave pushing towards him, he's just fine sitting here slowly and it creep towards him, but we are seeing as well mentally unstable going for a little bit of a lane gank. This could either be a counter play towards the side of Primordials or an aggressive play coming out of him.
Yeah, I think with the wave shoving in, you want to make sure that your bot lane is protected very well. Why the Wolves hang around in the bot side of the map here, so could be a potential gank. We'll have to see. Mentally unstable, spending a lot of time in this bot lane. Alafeld, you can see he's posturing for an engage. Beautiful sidestep from Caliber. avoiding the engage from Arlefeld there. While the Wolves has now arrived, there is no vision on him just yet. Mentally unstable, using the Flag and Dragon. While the Wolves, they will interact with each other here onto the Scuttle Crab. But you can see the bot lane of BLM. They are arriving onto the scene. Raishun is still in the lane, so they will get priority over this Scuttle Crab here. And this will go over to Primordial. So a little bit of a tussle, but nothing coming out of it so far.
Yeah, definitely so. And to me, it's interesting because we are seeing, in my opinion, the complete polar opposite to our first series of the day. You can see both of these teams playing a lot more slower, a lot more methodical than either of the first games that we had today, which to me is interesting because so many teams in SLE, and this is a perfect example, each team having a unique playstyle, each team wanting to play the game to their own way. And to me, it's exactly what we're seeing here as well. In our first game between BLM and Primordials, as we can see, Arlefeld is going to be looking for play in the mid lane, but Denzer, Orianna, not the easiest champion in the world to gank, although it's lacking a flash, so this could get very spicy very quickly.
Yeah, lacking a flash. Not easy to gank, but they were able to take Denzer down in the first iteration of this. And episode 2 is on the horizon. Arlefeld looking and waiting with the highest level of patience here. And I'm assuming he's waiting for Denzer to walk up. And there's the go button. Arlefeld gonna walk in. Beautiful shockwave landing onto 2. Ninnis trying to put the damage down, but it's not gonna be quite enough here as Denzer pops the phase rush and puts himself to safety. Beautiful shockwave, deterring the members of Primordials, as it will just be the Rift Herald drop. You can see members of Black Manta have started to arrive in response to this Rift Herald. It will just about get the charge, so value there for the Herald. It was very closely taken down by BLM in time, but it will get the gold. The plates are in, and yeah, it will be the fight, but more fighting happening is well, not necessarily fighting, as I think this will be an uncontested dragon going into the hands of BLM.
Yeah, definitely so. It is still fighting. It's still a little bit of PvE fighting instead of PvP. You know, they're looking to grind up, you know, get some more XP, get some levels on, and do some quests, do some objectives in the meanwhile. But Wolves in the top lane, this could be a dive.
This could be a dive indeed. Maybe does have everything available. Has the ultimate, has the flash. He's going to focus the wave here. The turret has been switched off by one of the Wolves as the Volibear ultimate is going to be able to do that very, very well. Slayon going to flash forward with the Kel ultimate, securing himself 1 kill in this game. And the flag and drag onto him, mentally unstable, going to try and do what he can. But it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of BLM. Denzer now trying to secure and level up the kill count while the Wolves playing aggressively, but will flash over the wall to safety. So for now, Primordials win out 2-for-1 in the top lane.
Primordials, like you said, win out in that one. The dive ends up going their favor nonetheless, and Wolves as well. Beautiful job from him, trying.
Yeah. Defending his AD carry from the depths of death, as well, they will just be able to get themselves to safety. Here comes the curtain call onto Caliber, as he will just kind of... Oh, he dodged it away from the last little bit of a bait there. Yeah.
Can we just, like, boo Caliber? Homie just stepped out the way in that last shot. He just said, I don't want it.
Kind of toxic.
Yeah, I would definitely report him after the game if I was Alicia. I don't know about you, but that's not approved behavior when playing against the Jhin. I think that's actually bannable when it comes to SLE games, and probably won't be seeing Caliber in split 6 after he does that. No sir, but
Jesus.
dive in the top lane, and again, mentally unstable, just a good kill back from him. Slan ends up falling, but mentally unstable ends up falling himself. Denzer did get a flash out of Wolves, which flash is quite an important spell on someone like a Volibear. You can definitely get a lot out of it. So definitely good to see that Denzer did end up burning that. Might create some protection, but Slayer...
Oh, Slayer in danger. Call of the Forge God comes through, no ultimate available, and that's just going to be the top lane of Primordials taken down. BLM maybe rams his head into that Chaos, saying, here's your judgment, as Quishy now getting caught out by Arlefeld. The Shirelias was popped some move speed. Double teleport coming in. That's going to be Denza and Ninnis. Ninnis going to have a beautiful flank position here. So it's going to Spirit Rush forward. Denza dodging away from the first one. W from Jin isn't going to land. Beautiful shockwave as Ninnis is going to fall. Caliber gets excited. He's in the back line of Primordials. Gets the double kill already. What in the world is next on the menu? Denza going to secure that kill. Caliber running forward. He's trying to carry the hopes of BLM for playoff contention. Triple kill for the AD carry of Black Manta as Caliber has come online.
That Jinx absolutely pops off Caliber with so many kills. 5-on-0 now with the Kraken Slayer. Ryshawn just kind of gets left to his own devices, and when you're up against the Jinx in a 1v1, it's not a... You see, Ryshawn just gets left to his own devices, and RFL moves way too far in. The shockwave hits all the members, so many people, and RFL ends up using the quickness trying to get himself on out, but Caliber just spewing those rockets once he got excited. A couple of stacks on him, and ends up burning down the Rakan, and ends up finding himself at a 5-0 after that big fight.
Beautiful stuff from Denza. Lovely shockwave as he's trying to find a catch onto Ninit. Dodges away from the charm, and the zap is going to finish off the kill. And I said, do not count Denza out. This is a talented player, and he's showing himself his stuff this game.
And definitely showing why Orianna gets picked as much as she.
Leon now gonna get the backup of Alefeld here. Maybe gonna jump forward, knocking up the Kale. Kale does have ultimate this time, so the Ornn not as lethal as he was before. Look at the damage coming out. Slayon gonna pop the ultimate corner of the Forge Core. Is it gonna come in time? It's not indeed. Slayon actually is going to fall down, so it's 1-for-1. And on the other side, Why the Wolves died to Caliber. A 7-0 Jinx now, looking extremely powerful as we keep losing caster mics for a sec. I think it's on Discord side. Well, I'm not. Hello?
No, you're fine. That was
oh,
earlier.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
Cool.
You're good. We do still have so many expires out by our side. Thank God, because this has been a series and a half. But this time it was me, unfortunately, but don't worry, you're all still
Dace's internet didn't qualify for playoffs. Ah!
I'm just gonna leave, it's fine. It's okay. I was waiting for somebody to make that joke, but I didn't think it would be this early, man. I think we'll at least get to playoffs before it comes. To be fair, my internet has been a little bit iffy lately, so you know, that's very much justified, but my internet hasn't been the only thing that's been iffy. I feel like Slan in the top lane has been a little bit iffy as well. 2-1-4 at the moment has found himself falling quite a few times. Ryshawn not in an ideal spot himself, but Sovanex, I feel like we've seen before what 7-on-0 Jinx can do. This time he's got a Gale Force and he's got a Milio by his side.
Yeah, he does indeed. To be honest, I can't see how this goes in favor of BLM from this point onwards. They do have the Kale, but as you said, the Kale has died a few times. But looking at the build, pretty good into the Ornn and the Jarvan. Actually, now that I think about it, okay, Kale here is really good. You can kind of just free hit the front line of BLM. And I think a pick that naturally does well into tanks can kind of shred them at level 16. So if Slayon can hit that level 16 power spike, then that's where BLM do need to be careful. But Caliber, so strong on the Jinx. Gale Force Kraken Slayer completed. 7-0. Yeah. Old school AD carry of the SLE, and he's putting in a great performance.
Yeah, definitely. So in Kale, of course, used to be auto wins when you hit 16, right? But nowadays it does take a little bit more work.
Oh, actually, Ninnis is going to jump forward with the Spirit Rush. Beautiful combo landing from the mid jungle of BLM. Ninnis going to dodge away, but Caliber is going to go legendary as 2 kills come in for Black Manta, and they are wanting that playoff spot. Curtain Call going to hit onto the bot lane of BLM, but yeah, this Jhin not very strong.
Definitely. So I would have loved to see Wishes dodge out of that last shot, just because that's what Caliber did to him earlier, you know. A little bit of tit for tat, but another tower falling in the mid lane, in the bot lane. Wolves now taking so much damage. Caliber, again, 8-0 on this Jinx. Once you stack up that lethal tempo, if you get, in my opinion, at least one stack of excitement when you're this fed, the team fight should pretty much be GG's for the set of Primordials unless you can catch this Jinx. That is going to be your main objective. That is going to be what you are going to be playing for, to kill this Jinx, because if Caliber lives, you are in for a world.
Yeah, definitely. As yeah, 8-0 on the Jinx. Great performance from him. You know, we kind of joked about not watching Black Manta too much this split because, you know, they kind of just have gotten 3 wins. But I think it's sad to see because they definitely have talented players on their team, and I'm excited to, well, hopefully we'll have to see the result of this game, but I'm excited for their chances in the playoffs because if they play like this, obviously they will have more difficult opponents, but if they play like this, they will be strong contenders.
Yeah, definitely so, but so I feel
Good
like
charm
not
landing
your
onto
fun.
Squishy.
Like,
Actually, then will be a fight breaking out here as why the Wolves just gonna walk up for a little bit of a bop stun and then running away. What I noticed about Black Manta, they're very disciplined in the way they play. Very little mistakes.
yeah, definitely so. I feel like, in my opinion, it's just strong shot calling and shows that there is so many veterans on this squad. You're looking at people like, maybe you're looking at people like Caliber, who have been in SLE for forever now, and definitely have shown that, are showing that this game as well. Caliber nearing his 3rd item almost, and so far, as well as having a 6,000 gold lead for the side of Black Manta, also on Soul Point at the moment. And Sovanix, I'm looking at the Dragon Clock, and there's only a minute to go.
Only a minute to go, and this will be the Infernal Soul for BLM. Once Jinx and Oriana gets that in their hand, it will be so scary. What's even scarier is if they just get the Baron buff for free, as yeah, Jinx Oriana, that gets absolutely shredded.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually a bad call to let that one go, because you're looking at Caliber, who's on 2 items. I don't think you can find a confined space against this
Wait a
Jinx, but
minute.
hold
Okay,
on,
Denza gonna throw the Q. Olafeld pops the Rakan ultimate and is actually gonna find a catch onto Denza. That's not the key target because the Jinx is just going to be able to free hit. Slayone is gonna try and do as much damage as he can. The Super Mega Death Rocket is gonna go legendary as Denza is going to pick up another kill onto the Rakan, and look at Caliber on the Jinx going absolutely crazy in this team fight, getting excited, getting himself to the kills, triple kill coming in for him. This is going to be the last push into the base of BLM. They will take this first game.
BLM looking to end, I feel like, for the Nexus, surely. This is the time to do it. Baron buff on your back. Caliber looking to get excited, and Sovanix, we are looking at Black Manta taking game 1.
Game 1 indeed, as we'll see. Is there a potential defense? Members are starting to spawn, but the Nexus is being hit up. Black Manta with a dominant performance, and they will take game 1, as he said. And this is massive for their playoff contention.
Any game you can take, even if it's only 1, even if it's 2, any games you can get is absolutely massive for the side of Black Manta. And I mean, Sovanix, I would ask for the whole MVP thing, but can you really put MVP on somebody else than what, like a 9 on 10 on no Jinx?
I think it was clear cut, day and night. Caliber takes the MVP for that game. What a performance on the Jinx. Those flashes, those clutch flashes away from Olafeld's knockups in the bot lane is what got this Jinx ahead. And yeah, just ran away with the game. And I have to say, pure domination from BLM. There was a second in that game that I thought that they were going to lose. Actually, from the draft, I never thought that they were going to drop this one as 1-0 in this series. Primordials, they don't have anything to play for when it comes to playoffs, but they're playing for their name, they're playing for their reputation. As I believe we have a quick break before we head into game 2, and we'll see if Black Manta can complete the sweep in the series. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and the first game so dominant from Black Manta. But as I said, Primordials, they're fighting for the name. They haven't won a game, I think, in the entire split, and they don't want to go down in history as the only SLE team to not destroy a Nexus. Someone fact check me on that, but yeah, we've got the second game coming up here. What do we expect to see?
We do have a second game coming up, and I'm pretty sure you're right. If I'm not entirely wrong, the only two wins Primordials have is off of the forfeit when it comes to Shadow Wizards Gaming. So
Yeah,
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 yet to blow up a Nexus, which so many. There are two ways you can go about it. Either you can be like, "Oh, that's really embarrassing," or you can be like, "No one else is ever gonna do this in SLE history, and it is a title only we can have." So
yeah.
there are a couple of avenues.
That's very, very true. They are breaking records, making history. Probably not in the way that they would imagine, but nonetheless, making history as a draft kicked off. BLM, we saw. I think we historically know that these guys are a team that like to stick to that team fight style. I can imagine they'll do the same thing. Is there a particular band that you think Primordials need to focus on?
I think, in my opinion, if you're not gonna pick the Jinx after what we saw in that game one, you need to ban it away. We could also not pick Jin, like he's not really that good
Yeah,
at the moment,
yeah.
but I mean, which each to their own. But Jinx definitely doesn't. There are some matchups which are not ideal, but I feel like there aren't any matchups realistically for Jinx, depending on the support pairing, where you're like, oh, this game is unplayable, right? Because, for example, for Zaya, Ashe can be one of those matchups where it's really, really hard to play into if the Ashe can space out right, if they can kite right. So it is very good to see that Primordials are gonna end up banning that Jinx on that the third ban, and just for the record as well, they should have all bans unlocked for the second game, so you should see a lot more strategic avenues coming through for both of these teams.
Could be the case here as we see the bans coming through. Jinx banned away from BLM, as you said. If you're not going to pick that, make sure the enemy team isn't able to do so either. As Oriana, Amumu, Syndra, as Nidus champion getting pinched out here. The R is still available. Primordials will go for that first pick, Ashe.
There's the Ashe I aforementioned a little bit earlier, and we did get a little bit of not a sneak peek because we haven't seen the draft. We did get a little bit of a tease from Peppa, and he did say there was some spicy picks in this draft. So I'm expecting for one of these spicy picks to come through very soon. But Kaisa is not very spicy. That's a champion has been tried and tested, something we are used to seeing. It will be interesting enough what they end up pairing with in that support role. There are a ton of options still left. You can go for a good old naughty boy in that Nautilus if you want. Blitzcrank is still open, but that is a Lee Sin for Black Manta.
Oh my god, a Lee
There's the
Sin
cook.
locks in for mentally unstable, and we said Pepper did say there was going to be a cook, Caliber going for a bog standard AD carry of his. Very, very well known Kaiser player, but mentally unstable, locking in that Lee Sin. Slayer will go for the Renekton here, and I'm curious to see what the world is going to pick into this.
Definitely so, and Sovanex, if I'm not entirely mistaken, is this the first Lee Sin we have in Split 5?
I don't know. I don't know if that's true, because Lee Sin has risen up in power recently, but I don't think the SLE has picked up on this champion. You could be right on that front. As
fact check me.
Yeah, someone fact check.
Yeah.
Someone, because I'm trying to hang up a whiteboard right now. Anyway, so Johnny gets locked in. Actually, a very good pick into Lee Sin as Cassante. Speaking of champions that have risen in power, this is a champion that is so strong right now. Is BLM gonna lock that in?
Yeah, gonna be the Kisante versus the Renekton matchup in that top lane. Definitely, I'm expecting to see both of these champions to sort of brawl it out, just try to hit each other as much as possible, especially for the side of Black Manta, as I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Slan in the top lane, who is gonna want those grasp stacks for himself on that Cassante, if that is what he ends up opting for. Of course, it is the most common rune page we see, especially into these melee fighters that tend to be pretty popular right now in that top lane. Renekton probably being the most popular one. We see it a lot in Worlds as well as we do see the Ari Braun ban for the side of Black Manta currently really being responded to by Notus on the side of Primordials and Ornn being taken away as well.
Yeah, one taken away. It was a pretty lethal pick for BLM there, maybe getting loads of kills and finding angles onto Slayon on the KO. Rakan once again is being featured, but it's going to be the opposite team looking that one in, so not in the hands of Olafels here. And BLM, they seem to be drafting something completely out of their usual drafts. It's not necessarily a straight up back to front. I think the Lee Sin has thrown the playbook out the window, and BLM so far looking like a very aggressive team composition, as the Veigar is going to be locked in for this.
It's gonna be the Veigar, generally a really good pick into the Lee Sin, because you can just trap him as soon as he does jump on him. Lee Sin really has no way outside of the flash to get out of that cage once you are in it, and to me, Lee Sin is a champion that can always throw curveball into the mix, but wait, what? Ash support?
Oh, Ash support for Primordials, and actually Alpha gonna be piloting that one. Okay, very interesting there. Well, so I just randomly blurted out Kassadin because Kassadin looks so good right here. These two teams, they like to play for late game. Kassadin into Veigar, one of the freest matchups.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he will go for the Zed. Denza has locked in Zed. Another good matchup into the Veigar. You basically avoid the cage. But yeah, I think BLM's team composition looks pretty funky, doesn't it?
Definitely looks pretty funky. I love this. Well, no, I love the Zed pick for the sake of it being Zed, but also it is very good into the Veigar. Like you said, there are two matchups, or at least two matchups. I don't play that much Veigar myself, but at least two matchups with Veigar players fear. It is the Katarina, and it is the Zed. Both of those champions can just phase through your cage like it doesn't exist, because both of their, well, Zed has the shadow, but Katarina's jump is considered a blink, which is why you can just sort of jump over things like terrain and such. So definitely gonna be interesting to see how this Zed plays out. Of course, the last time we saw Zed Sovanix, it was on Zed Orzo, and it did questionable things.
Yeah, questionable, but the matchup is completely different, and Denza, so makes us drop the fact in the Twitch chat here. 0% win rate on the Zed that Denza has, and this is quite an important game for BLM if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the stakes, and maybe someone can fact check, but I mean, are they qualified for playoffs off winning that first game?
They are currently at 9 wins. If they win this game as well, if they win this game, they should realistically be guaranteed.
Okay.
But if they lose this, it is still up in the air.
Okay.
I think.
Alright.
You can fact check me after the stream if you want, but that's at least what I think. And of course, as well as we do get finally into the Rift, Sovanix, I think I am more interested than ever to hear this based on these two comps. But what are your predictions?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Like,
No, give me a number. You need to give me something.
it kind of depends on how the early game goes, because the Zed Lee Sin, sorry, I will correct myself. It's not Denza's 0% win rate on Zed. It's actually Zed's 0% win rate in SLE this split, and it's been played by the two Zed lanes that we have. So I think that goes to show I guess the win rate of this champion isn't great. You have a good matchup here. You have a very aggressive 2 versus 2. And so if the Zed and the Lee Sin can get the ball rolling, then definitely BLM can win. But in taking a look at the Primordials draft, very difficult to kill certain members here. And it's like if Renekton gets ahead, if Veigar and Xayah are able to scale, if Ashe can get out the laning phase unscathed, then I think Primordials will take this.
So I'm hearing Primordials sided for the game too, which I feel like is fair enough. It is hard for me to side with Primordials considering they are yet to blow up a Nexus, but you know, working on it, work in progress. But if you look at it this way, this mid lane matchup, like you look at Denzer, okay? You look at the last 3 letters in Denzer's name. What is it? Zer, right? If you take away the R, you replace it with a D, What does it say? It says Z. So clearly it is meant to be.
That is probably one of the most ridiculous takes you've ever said.
I've said some crazy things.
No, I'm cheating. I'm kidding. I mean, we have to create some sort of fantasy in these days, right? But no, yeah, I guess DenZ. DenZ looking good this game.
Oh no, the cannon. Oh no.
Oh no.
As soon as he said he looked good, he missed the cannon. I fully blame that on you.
He's got the cool skin. We have to give that one to him. Good
What do you
investment.
what do you think is the best Z skin?
Classic.
Real quick before we move on.
Classic, because that's the one that Faker uses.
Ooh, he is right. It's also in the clip of Faker, but a gank in the bot lane, this could change things.
Yeah, this could change things. Mentally unstable on the Lee Sin, looking to play aggressive, and Alafeld is the focus. The feathers get pulled back. That is disaster for Black Manta. That is Ryshan. It's gonna get a double kill onto the members of Black Manta, and the Lee Sin already. This is not what you want to see coming out from the early game Lee Sin.
This is definitely not what you want to see when you go for the early Lee Sin, but Alfeld on the Ashe, not being scared one bit, doesn't burn the flash, does end up burning the exhaust, which is understandable when you have 3 beefy boys trying to take you down, but taking a look back at the replay, mentally unstable, going for the early play in this bot lane, but look at Ryshan. The feathers are already there, they are already set up, the entire side of Primordials kind of just the entire side of Black Manta kind of just walk on into them. Ryshan gets giga damage.
Wait a minute, did I miss something, or was mentally unstable level 2?
Yeah.
For that gang?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I believe so.
Alright. Okay.
You know, he's sitting on 20 CS, still the same CS as Wolves, so you know, he's working.
Yeah, but his camps are up.
Yeah. True.
So,
but the crab is up. This could be big. No, it's big for Wolves. Level 4 on Sejuani. You know, this is the Giga moves ahead in XP.
Oh, okay, he's going for the crump. Oh, okay, wow.
Oh, now this could be interesting. Never mind. This is not gonna be. Wait, top lane guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, okay.
This guy. By the way, I just want to point this out. This Lee Sin has ran from bottom river to top river, walked around a bit, and then.
This could be Summonix, the least efficient pattern we have ever seen.
That was rough.
Yeah, it's a little bit yikes, but you know, he's finally doing some CS, finally getting some of his camps taken, so he's getting back on track, and
yeah.
So far, you know, bot lane of Primordials getting back on track as well. Slight CS lead, but a CS lead in the mid lane for the Z is kind of what you expect from this matchup.
Yeah, what route onto Caliber? As you can see, BLM's bot lane trying to shove the wave, but Primordial's not going to let that happen. A volley just going to miss with the slow, isn't going to land, and yeah, lane-wise, it's looking good for the bottom top of Primordials, but the mid lane here, you can see Denza pulling away with a bit of a lead, and I think one thing we've seen of Zeds is Zeds in the SLE, they get the lead in the lane phase, but they kind of just stay there. They don't really do anything. So how important is it for Denza to push this lead further?
I think when you look at the overall matchup of this game, I think he has to get ahead. He has opted in for an early Tiamat, which tells me he might...
What is he doing?
Tells me that he might do the look to push and shove.
There's a ward.
But... Cage? Ooh, okay, it's gonna look chop, but the Tiamat tells me that Denzer is gonna look to just shove out this lane. He's just gonna look to roam, but mentally unstable, we're gonna just waddle on over to his bot side. No, wait, hold on.
Okay, here we go. Oh, he misses out on the Q. That's why the Wolves now coming under some heat. Denza doing some big damage, gonna flash over the wall, and he's going to try to look for the execute on Why the Wolves. He didn't land any shurikens, so Why the Wolves is gonna get away with his life there. And a lot committed onto the jungler of Primordials, but no kills in the hands of BLM as this, yeah.
You could. It was actually right chance heal.
Oh,
But yeah.
Tenza finds Alifard as he flashes over the wall. And Dragon's getting started up here.
At the moment, but right
Oh,
chance.
solo kill in top lane is
God.
maybe finds Slayon. Nothing.
going
Yeah,
on?
no. Dragon gets started up here by mentally unstable and Denza. This will get secured as Ninus trying to hang around looking for a steal, and Denza gonna ward that bush there, smited away so that Lee Sin is going to eventually achieve something on the map as the dragon gets secured. And a flux forward, mentally unstable, had a rough early game, but with pure Chinese mechanics shows why he locked in the Lee Sin.
This monk is definitely not blind in the mid lane. The bot lane ends up being Ryshan's heal that keeps his jungler alive, and mentally unstable now going for a little bit of a base off. He's honest, we have a slight rage quit coming up from the Sejuani, and he didn't him living didn't end up sufficing. He didn't get enough kills, so ends up just leaving the game nonetheless. But looks like he's back to clearing his bot side camp, so it's just like, you know what, my team needs me.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to land onto Denza, and that's going to be the finish off from Ninus. As a trade kill goes in the hands of the Veigar. Veigar, a champion that scales really well, but if you can get kills this early into the game, very, very good for you.
And a very good arrow coming out of Audefeld. You can see all those swords in his inventory, just making it work. Maybe now in the top lane, taking a little bit of a beating for himself. Already, like you said, got a solo kill while all the craziness was happening in the bot lane. But so far, the game state, I feel like, is looking good for Primordials. And we did say they have the better draft as well, but there's the wild card of releasing. So really, anything can happen when you have the insect on your team.
Yeah, and Caliber eating some feathers of Roshan here, trying to push for that plate. Didn't able to get that in the end. And, yeah, I think BLM, they're starting to transition into that point in the game where the Zed and the Lee Sin should be looking for as many plays, aggressive plays, as possible around the map.
Yeah, definitely. So Denzer as well having the Tiamat, which means he can just push out and shove and push out and then roam very quickly with these waves as the I actually might spot. Oh, okay, just misses out on mental unstable, which means it's not gonna get spotted out, although they do know the camps are gone, so they can rough it to where he is. But Wolves,
Oh, beautiful kick, landing onto two members, mentally unstable. Now getting stunned up by Slayon. Why the Wolves does have the stun available on the Lee Sin. Look who's arrived. It's Ninus with the cage. Mentally unstable. It's going to be the first to fall. Maybe with the all-out going to win the 1v1 against Slayon. And actually, this is turning in the favor of BLM. Ninus going to try to chase out these low HP members. Maybe now running away, does still have the all-out active, but it's going to be 2 kills going into the hands of BLM. Denza walking into the Herald pit, but it's just going to take the exit out, and BLM, they get away with the winning team fight.
again, BLM just coming in clutch, and this Cassante doing all the work, maybe looking so damn strong on this champion. Cassante, of course, being very good at the moment as well. Bot lane just taking a little bit of a beating on the side of BLM, but their top side definitely thriving, definitely doing strong, and definitely are a win con when it comes to this BLM squad. As we take a look back at the replay, like you said yourself, Sovanix, a beautiful kick to start things off onto the members, and it just ends up being maybe who just on the back end gets the kill. A good cage from Ninus as well, ends up finishing up mentally unstable early on, but this kill in the Herald pit, just one auto, one frame off, and maybe would have been toast, but ends up winning it out, and BLM ends up winning the fight in the top side.
Yeah, they end up winning the fight. Big value of those plated steel caps from maybe. I know a lot of Cassante players, they like to rush these boots into this matchup. It is Renekton favored, but Cassante, very tanky boy, and when you pop the all-out, that's where you can start looking for big damage onto the Crocodilers. While the Worlds looking for the Herald, not answered for anything on the bot side. You can imagine this will go over to Primordials for free.
Definitely should do, as you can see, mentally unstable on the bot side, looking for some of these camps, but oh, this could be disaster for Black Manta.
Yeah, Black Manta Well, not disaster for Black Manta, but successful for Primordials as the Chanted Crystal Arrow doesn't quite land. And you can see the bot lane of Primordials now under siege. It's going to be Denza with the death mark, gets rooted up by the feathers. Beautiful play coming out from Reich and Caliber using the killer instinct and is going to get the shutdown onto the Zaya. Olafeld now getting chased down by two members, mentally unstable, flashing over the wall. Herald secured for Primordials, but Olafeld now getting kicked in the jaw. This Dancer's going to secure that kill. BLM, they are making their bid for playoffs and their mid-jungle aggression is paying off dividends.
Primordials being the one under disaster. Herald popped in the mid lane, wishing now looking for a play.
Oh, another player, Squishy, now under danger. Denza landing massive damage onto these members, but Ninnis using the ultimate not finish off Denza as the shield comes in, just clutch for him. But already you can see the damage that Veigar is able to pull out early on into this game, especially with this farm deficit that Ninnis has. Well, I think I'm quite curious to see how this one scales into the late game.
Definitely, so the Primordial Burst just not being quite enough to finish that one off. Ninnis does still have his TP up, so if he does want to TP over that mid lane, he can do so, but Artifact seems like he's enjoying himself some solo XP and Reicher under threat.
Ryshan under threat, no ultimate available, but look who has his ultimate. That's the death mark being popped down. The Shurikens do kind of go wide, so Ryshan will get away with his life, and you know, actually, this fight in the top lane is Why the Worlds and Sleone in a 2 versus 1. Olafeld now arriving, and maybe he's going to find a kill onto the Cassante. Might find another, and maybe gets a double kill. Olafeld is left, and will pick up the pieces. Shutdown going over to the Ash. But a disaster for the top side of Primordials as they drop to Denza. Has teleported behind Ninnis here. Ninnis completely unaware of the situation. Does have the crown of the Shattered Queen. So Denza going to avoid that. Doesn't have the death mark available. Ninnis going to try to get Denza off of her face as well, the push comes in from the Zed. I believe they are just going to wait for the cooldowns. The combo comes through. Quishy going to try to land the knockup flash away from Ninnis. Ninnis almost taking down Denza as the teleport is coming through. The final shuriken is going to land. The teleport coming out from Sleone. It won't do anything as there's fighting all across the map.
Everybody's looking, everybody's brawling everywhere. Ninnis ends up falling, and the crown just not doing quite enough Ryshan in the bot lane. I feel like these two AD carries might as well just hit it off since everybody else is fighting as well, but looks like they are just looking to push this way, looking like they are just gonna chill for now, but maybe in the top lane, big money for him in a 3v1 ends up gathering 2 kills, and the shutdown going to Artifact is not really the target you want to be looking for when it is the support Ashe. If it was the ADC Ashe, yeah sure, but when it's on the support role, not the ideal altogether.
Yeah, what a game coming up from maybe as Ryshan is going to find himself dead in the bot lane. I can see ultimates were used from BLM, so Ryshan will fall. He got a 2-0 lead, but now in the face of a 2-2, BLM, they are creeping into that playoff spot now. And it's growing into a big lead in this game.
It's going ever so closer. Wolf's now under threat in the top side river, but did actually end up securing the crab for himself. So, very good pickup from him, and Dancer is growing stronger and stronger on this Z3.
Oh, stronger and stronger, but now getting rooted up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna use the death mark beautifully to get away from the Veigar Primordial Burst, but now mentally unstable, in danger. Very low HP bars coming up from the members of BLM. You can see the damage coming out from this Primordial draft here as BLM forced to retreat here. Despite, I think Denza was the one getting caught initially by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You see what Primordial's team composition looks to do here.
Definitely. So Black Manta is forcing to run away there, and I want to get into this. I want to get into a point I want to make, but I feel like I'm gonna try. There's gonna be more fighting.
Ryshan and Caliber in a 1 versus 1, and Ryshan dodging away from the W will win out, but mentally unstable gets the kill credit for that one. BLM 11 kills to 6. This Lee Sin looked a bit clueless in the early game, but now back in the game looking very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I figured as much. I feel like both of these teams aren't gonna stop fighting, so I'm not even gonna try and start.
Oh, they're not gonna stop fighting at all. This is another fight breaking out in the bot lane, mentally unstable, and Koichi collaborating with each other to try and find a pick onto Why the Wolves. But that's a tanky Sejuani as he's putting up a decent fight. But in the end, the Lee Sin gets himself the 3rd kill of his game. And 12 kills now on the board for BLM. Looking good in this early game as, well, I'm going to have to stop myself because more fighting occurring as Denza going to find a death mark onto Ninnis. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. He's actually going to finish off the kill. The death mark pops Ninnis, getting the kill. As more fight breaking out. Koichi now hanging around the wings. Keep your eyes on Caliber because the killer instinct is available. Koichi going to walk up now. Ahlefeld in danger. Caliber going to pop the killer instinct as Ahlefeld is forced to flash away. And please, God, please be the end of this fight.
I think they might be done just about for now, but Summonix, I don't think they're gonna be done for too long. So far, we have seen a lot of skirmishing and fighting in this game already, and unfortunately in the mid lane, play the missiles going into the minions, but now Sloan gonna be under threat in this top side, should be able to dash himself on out, but missiles from Caliber going onto minions as well, so they end up having the damage to pop out of it.
Oh, Jesus, okay, so there's fighting in the mid lane now, as one Wolves now trying to defend this turret here. Koichi brought to low HP, didn't really see what happened there. Why the Wolves still has the ultimate available. And crucially now, Dragon spawning in 5 seconds. Rakan having to recall, not ideal for BLM. They definitely want to secure this. This will be sole point for them. It will just be a mid lane tussle.
And again, like you said, Dragon spawning very soon, and look at the cooldowns before it is up. Everybody's got their ultimates. Everybody except Denzer has their flashes, and I feel like a lot of these cooldowns are gonna get burned in this fight. Wish's quickness and Caliber's killer instinct aren't gonna be up quite yet, so BLM need to buy some time.
Yeah, need to buy some time, and Caliber popping the Crown of the Shattered Queen from Ninnis is going to be a first step to winning this team fight. This is going to be crucial. Team fight is going to break out very soon. Top lane turret already secured by Slayon, and it seems like maybe going to use the flash early. Doors mentally unstable. Didn't manage to find the kick. He's going to get taken down. Oh my god, what on earth was that? As Denza going to be the next to fall. Why the Wolves getting the kill credit for that? Maybe he's trying to do all he can in the back line of Primordials, and he's going to able to get the knock but not the kill onto Ninnis as she survives with that slither of HP. Primordials getting back into the game in a bit of a hiccup for the BLM top side, as the bot lane are the only ones left alive. Will they contest the Dragon? I don't think they will, as Koichi jumps away to safety, and Primordials will bite back on the Dragon score.
Primordials, as well as, like you said, fighting back on the Dragon score, are gonna find the team fight for themselves as well. And take a look back at the replay, mentally unstable, a little bit of a whoopsie, getting the flash in, but just no kick coming out from him. Maybe great access into the backline here, almost finding Ninnis for himself, but the stun from Wolves just ends up saving the Veigar for a little bit, and Ninnis ends up surviving on a sliver of HP there. And this is why we are seeing why a lot of people do not pick the Lee Sin in these games.
I think Lee Sin's a fine pick. Obviously, you gotta be capable on the champion. Very difficult to play. I'm not saying that he can't.
Are you calling him bad?
No. I'm just saying. He's had a roller coaster of a game. I'll just put that out there. He's had highs and lows. He's been through the entire spectrum of positive and negative. As well, shut down onto Ahlefeld, meaning Black Manta will start up the Baron here. Well, contest coming in as Slayon now walking in from top side. They will spot that this is being taken, but Slayon taking the option to back away, so the Baron will get taken up for free as Black Manta. That's going to be a big pickup for them.
Definitely. So a little bit too late coming out from the side of Black Manta, also from the side of Primordials. They did end up spawning it out, but already at 3k when they spotted it out, and at that point it's kind of too late to stop that. But Black Manta with the Baron pickup are gonna be ahead in gold by just about 200 as well. So Sovanix, if you're looking at gold between these two sides, this is one of the most even games we've had all day.
This is such an even game, and yeah, that's such a good point. Every game today has been a bit of a Goomba stomp. For the first time, we've got a game on our hands, boys, and It's gonna be close and mentally unstable.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, keep your eyes on this boy because he's looking for a cooking. He's about to do some crazy play. Keep your eyes on this man, the absolute Chinese monster on the Lee Sin. He's about to pull off some absolute. Okay, and he's just gonna walk away.
He just, you know, he looked on over. He was like, they're just running away from me. I can't do anything.
No, it's
And,
like you go there, right? In your brain, you're like, all right, I'm gonna ward jump, Q, kick, and then Q again. But then you're like, what? Can I play? Oh, actually, Quish, you're gonna look for the full engage. Gonna get rooted up by the Glacial Prison, and he's gonna be the first one to fall mentally unstable. Unfortunately, not showing his Chinese mechanics there. Denza, however, trying to be the Korean Zed that he could be. That unfortunately will go down. Double kill coming in for the Sichuani. He's gonna fall as Calibur's left to run, and so far it's gonna be a team fight win in the hands of Primordials as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
almost finding the good. I thought he might have the killer instinct to pull it up, but ended up using it in the team fight.
Oh,
Although,
but Slayon creatively looking for the flank. No flash available. The teleport is coming in from maybe, but it might be too late. His comrade has already fallen. Maybe now entering a 1v1 against the Crocodile, and it's bit of a wet noodle fight here as there's not much damage coming out, but maybe going to use the all-out. This is where the Cassante does the damage, going to dash forward, but Slayon using the double E, getting away from that one, and it seems like Primordials, they win out on the team fight.
Primordials do win out indeed, and take a look back at the replay. Mentally unstable, just not really doing much in these fights, and it was a good play from Calibur. Denzer with the moves, best LS stylish impression we've seen so far, but Calibur again with the autos, with the run back, going a little bit too aggressive after the fight, ends up getting caught out by Adefeld and the volleys on Ash, but
oh my god, what wow. Oh my god.
Moves.
Oh my god.
No. Can we like, okay, can we like swap Wishy and mentally unstable champions? Because clearly there's been some like discorrelation in craft. Wishy's got the moves.
Yeah, Christian Why the Walls playing coordinated swimming as they create some Bermuda Triangle pattern and get themselves away. Dragon spawning, how important is this dragon data?
I think it's key for the side of
oh, here we go.
Pick this one.
Okay, mentally unstable. He's actually going to get Vision of Allerfeld here. And I see the pinks coming out. He's looking for the flank. This is perfect for the Lee Sin. This is exactly what you want. He's waiting on the wings. This is so good. What is happening? Why?
Sonics. Mentally unstable is our Sven. He's our Sven.
No, but what? Okay, anyway, so Primordials, they get themselves onto the dragon, they push out the bot lane, they lose a turret in the meantime. Ninus recalling to pick up that wave, does have teleport available, mentally unstable, you can see he's looking for the flank. Denza going melee range with not really much protection. Keep your eyes on Question here, is looking for the engage onto the backline of Primordials. Mentally unstable, landing a Q onto the Renekton, and he's just gonna get absolutely one-shot, not doing absolutely anything. There's an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, lands onto Caliber, and that's gonna be the death of the Kaiser. Primordials, they are fighting the team fight win, and unfortunately for BLM, this is going to cost them their chance at playoffs.
Primordials finding the team fight for themselves and finding the second dragon of the game. 2 mountain dragons is gonna be very, very hard to fight off. Oh, they are looking for some things in the mid lane. This could be a potential flank angle if they want to look for Blackmon. I feel like they're in danger here.
Yeah, they are going to look for this turret, and as now they are going to be chased out of the Primordials jungle. Allerfeld is going to take the blast cone. He's going to land a beautiful Ash ultimate onto Koichi. Denza has the shadow available to take. He's going to go onto the back line here. Can he do anything? Whoa, my god, the damage from Ninus from the ultimate. It's going to be massive. Flashes forward, gets the shutdown onto Denza. And Primordials, they're slowly evening up the kill score. Keep your eyes on mentally unstable. He's now back on the map. And I can imagine he's back and he's going to do what he does best. Lands the Q. Take it, man. Take the goddamn Q. He's not going to take it, but he's going to hang around the wings while the Wolves does have the Glacial Prison available. Mentally unstable. He's just chilling. Look at him go. What an absolute madman. Mechanics coming out from the man himself.
Wait, hold on, he's cooking. He's
No!
cooking.
Oh, he's kicking. He's gone back in. As, look at him go. My eyes are only on
Okay.
this Lee Sin. I'm only watching this Lee Sin. I actually don't care what anyone else is doing right now. Oh my god, and he lands the most insane kick I've ever seen in my life. And he's just gonna die.
We waited.
Oh,
We
shit.
waited.
Oh shit! No, Dante has the double kill. Minister's next and Rick goes down onto him. Oh wow, shut down for a gun. That's gonna be them. They went on the team fight, and that's gonna be another shutdown for guns. Oh god.
Wait
Oh
a minute.
crap! Oh, Denzel's not getting jumped on by Slayer. Jonathan can't W. That's the end of the fight. Holy shit!
We waited so long. We waited so long for the flash kick. And he just kicks him into goal.
I don't know what you thought. I don't know what you're saying. That was crazy. Mechanics. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay. Like overall, right? Looking at the
Oh,
the moves. The moves.
yeah.
I mean, that's just huge,
What-
right? That's,
Listen,
I
listen.
feel like-
Why kick a carry into into your team when you can kick him into the void?
Facts. You should be out there playing the Lee Sin. Like it was that was Giga Brain. But at the end of the day, Dancer did pick a couple of kills for himself. So it's not horrible. Like in the grand scheme of things, 8-5 on the Z, 3 items. But okay, I'm sure the teams will calm down. I will now make the point I wanted to make earlier. Okay, I think Ninus' crown makes 0 sense. In my opinion, you go for Everfrost or you go for Ludens and you go
100%.
Zonia's like 3rd item or 2nd item. I don't know how, because by the time Zed gets his combo off, this crown is gonna be gone.
Ooh, Caliber just dodging away from the arrow, but Denza lining the fancy feet. Well, we talk about crown and instantly the value of it comes straight away as Denza is going to get dropped. But I do agree. Everfrost probably about to hit.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make that point like 10-15 minutes ago with the bot lane, but they wouldn't stop fighting, so I'm glad I finally got it out of my
Wow,
system.
wow. Mentally unstable now. This is his chance to shine as he's going to get jumped on by Slayon here, and he's going to get rooted up. Beautiful cage coming up from Ninus, and the flank comes in from Maybe. I'm watching this Lee Sin. What can he do? He lands a Q on the Ash. That's going to be massive. He's going to W to the safety of his Rakan, and look at Maybe in the back line, causing so much havoc. Caliber is going to be the first to fall, mentally unstable. He's sort of just walked around in circles for this fight. He's going to land a... What is he doing? Is he...
Listen, Lee Sin, okay, it's a hard champion to play without flash. He had no idea what to do. He was like, what do I do without the summoner spell? I'm lost. I don't know what I'm
No,
to do.
we shouldn't be hard. You're right. This is a very tough game for Lee Sin because you're basically playing against a lot of champions that counter you. There's not much you can do. It's just
Look at
funny.
him go.
It's just funny, right? Because like genuinely, if you watch him, he is just running around in circles. As Denza is getting caught out in the mid lane here, Glacial Prison gonna land on him. He's gonna use the fancy footwork to get away. Mentally unstable and Quishy now playing defense on their mid laner here. This is so massive. Denza having to recall now, using the death mark as well, so won't have that available for this dragon take. But keep your eyes on the crucial man himself, mentally unstable, going to want to steal this away. You do not want to give 3 mountain dragons over to this team composition here. Mentally unstable, he's going to be a little bit too late. That was one of the fastest ward jumps I've ever seen in my life as he gets the kick onto Raishan, but it's just going to be kicking him back into the rest of his team as they're going to find a catch onto Why the World. That is that chunky Sejuani, so it's going to be taking a while to chunk him down. You do have Caliber doing big damage. Mentally unstable gets the first kill of the fight. Reicher now in the back, getting pick one up for himself, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing onto Quishy. Big plays coming in from Sleon. He jumps into 3. Look at Reicher and doing the DPS onto the Cassante. Denza finishes off 2 members. What a play! Who is this man? Look at the moves, look at the cleanse. Oh my god, he's actually dead as Alefeld is going to pick up the kill. And a two members for both teams only surviving, as it's a 3 for 3, and the fight was so close. But Primordials, they do get themselves the 3rd Mountain Dragon, and well, theme of the game, when the fight's over, it's not necessarily over. It's Russian being very careful there, understanding that BLM were potentially waiting. I'm hearing a bunch of pings. Keep your eyes, because there's an Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Great cleanse coming from Caliber. We'll get him to safety. But yeah, what a game. What a game.
It's definitely so great meme value so far, but also Denzer, what a man, the cleanest Zed in my opinion we have seen so far. 4 items on him now, Edge of Night coming through as well, just extra added survivability, and this man on our screens, mentally unstable, doing all the work, putting the team behind his back, without a doubt the most useful member in this BLM squad so far. The kicks, the moves, the flashes, they've just been out of this world, and so definitely the jungler you wanted to see for this second game. With Baron being up now, maybe he might actually do something this for team fight. Who knows?
Yeah, this is going to be crucial here. But like you said, Denza, this is by far the best Zed performance I have seen in the SLE. So this split, and you know, with big and Zed players we have, I think that goes to show Denza a respectable player. 10 and 7, a lot of deaths, but naturally that comes with the chaos of the game. Mentally unstable, and Koichi alongside Caliber will enter the Baron pit now. Ninus' crown has been popped once again. Caliber has been so good at popping that at the start of team fights. Finding another W onto Ninus. Caliber gone for the AP build, knowing that, you know, only AP damage dealer on his draft, and yeah. When's the fight happening, Dasa? When's it happening? Oh, it's happening right now as Squishy gets hit up by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Mentally unstable, goes for the craziest play I've ever seen as he goes for the wall jump kick into the death. And that's going to be Primordials wiping the floor with BLM as their jungler says, you're not allowed to win this game. And Primordials, triple kill coming in for Ninus, and they will go for the Baron.
Primordials just putting in the works again, mentally unstable, question marking his team. What are they doing? Which is leasing maybe though? Yeah,
maybe looking for a kill onto Sleon here. That is a very tanky Cassante. Alefeld in support. Great spacing from the Ashe here. Alefeld, fantastic, landing the slows onto the Cassante. The Renekton is starting to get strong now, but look at the damage, and maybe is kind of outplaying this. Sleon gonna get knocked up here, maybe getting the first kill of this 1 versus 2. Alefeld dodging away. He's gonna get some backup from the rest of his team. Will dodge away from the W. Beautiful mechanics coming in from the support of Primordials. Yes, as you said, mentally unstable. In the voice com says, I've kicked Zaya, please kill him. And then unfortunately Zaya doesn't die. Oh, SMH BLM members. SMH.
Yeah, this is why you should have drafted Yasuo support, in my opinion. You replace the Rakan with a Yasuo, bada beam, bada boom, your draft is complete. And then these kicks might be doing something, you know, who knows. But so far, definitely Primordials. Primordials so far definitely being the team that's coming out on top. And you mentioned Denzer having 8 deaths, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there is not a death I can think of that has been egregious int. In a way,
no,
definitely. I've been in like a team fight where he's still done things but ends up dying nonetheless, though, burns some cooldowns, and in my opinion has had a very solid game for himself.
Yeah, very solid game. It's once again
Ninus' crown.
Ninus' crown popped once again. You can see Caliber is trying to land these W's and poking out the Primordials members before this not Elder Dragon, the Mountain Dragon spawns. And look at this, boys. We've got the flank of the century, and once again, mentally unstable, and Denza is going to be the heart of that. Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go wide. Now, Denza dropping the shadow is going to spot him out. So, Primordials should know that there are 2 members of BLM behind them. Now Primordials, they are in a sticky situation. This is a pincer if I have seen one. They only have one exit route here and they have to take it. So they're going to exit through the bot side here and, well, Mentally Unstable and Denza, they won't make an aggressive play onto them as they now get control of the objective. And they have started this up. This is going to be crucial. Denza still on the flank and, oh, not going to get this shield popped off as maybe is going to find a catch onto Reicher. The all-out is going to go down. Denza is going to completely one-shot him off the map. That's the Zed value. That's the best Zed in the SLE. And Denza is going to push forward. Beautiful Zhonya's the finish off from Caliber. And there's going to be more fighting. Mentally Unstable has survived this team fight. He is still alive. Look at him go. This is the best Lee Sin in the entire league. As he is going to finish off Why the Wolves. Jungle Diff 900 times. And he's going to get the Dragon secured for his team, and BLM, they win out on the team fight.
BLM win out on the team fight. Is this gonna be enough though? Long death timers at this stage of the game. 37 minutes in, longest game we've had yet today, and 3 Mountain Drakes on the side of Primordials. And I have to commend the side of Black Manta in the team fight because yes, the replay might be late, but we all saw it earlier on. The side of Black Manta just dismantling. It's okay. Dismantling the side of Primordials. This is how you wanna play team fights. When you've got 2 assassins, when you've got the Zed, you've got the Lee Sin, you need to create chaos. You need to disperse the members of Primordials slowly and surely, and that's exactly what they did. Immediate pick onto Reichern, and you could see Wolves was nowhere near the rest of his team.
Yep, Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
It's gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he can fire that basically off like a 10-15 second cooldown, so I think it's absolutely fine to just randomly fire it throughout the map. But yeah, crucially, Primordials, that Mountain Soul isn't secured because look at that team composition. You know, Mountain Soul onto Renekton, Sejuani, even a Vega, extra protection for the Ashe. It's massive. So BLM winning out in this team fight is so big. And we are entering the late game. This is as late as it can get. Full builds coming in for some. I just heard my producer let out the biggest yawn in the world. This man is absolutely shattered watching these guys duke it out. And
yeah, definitely wanting to move on, man.
Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow once again getting dodged away from Caliber. Yeah, Dasa, what are these teams separately needing to do to win this game?
We need the side of Primordials to just say, stick together. I need Nunes to sell his goddamn crown and I pray to God, replace it with something useful. Because Caliber, it seems to be a magnet for popping it. He's gotten no value out of it. I hate this item in this game, and Everfrost would be much better. He's got Zonias now. He doesn't need the defensive item of the crown. It's fine. We can sell it now. We can buy Everfrost. We can do something useful with it. You know, it's alright. But I do expect for the side of Primordials to want a more conventional team fight. Audefeld, like you said, has a very low cooldown on his ultimate. They need to be looking for these picks, and they need to make sure Reichern is well protected. I would love at this point a stopwatch out of Reichern instead of that Vampiric Scepter. I don't think there's enough poke on the side of Black Manta. Of course you have Caliber, but the W's at this point aren't doing a ton of damage, so if you get hit by one but you dodge out on the rest, you generally should be fine. But I think stopwatch would be huge value for Reichern. We are 40 minutes in. If either of these teams die at this point, it could be very detrimental, especially considering Baron is up in 15 seconds already, and I feel like this game is minutes away from ending.
Yeah, game is starting to approach critical mass as Caliber once again will dodge away from an Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And look at these W's, not doing too much to the tanks, but mentally unstable, potentially getting caught out here. Look at the confidence of this man, just walking up to 5 different people. And just as you said, the crown popped once again, and Ninus gonna eat another W. Look at Caliber stepping forward aggressively, poking out the members of Primordials. Ninus already brought to half HP. Denza has a bit of a flank position here, but Ooh, it's going to be the carries walking up to him. Denza has to be very, very careful. Will sidestep away from the Glacial Prison. Finds an ultimate onto Raishan. Going to use the fancy feet, flashing away from the baby cage. Oh my god, beautiful mechanics coming out from Denza as he flashes the emote. And he just lures the members of Primordials all around the map. And that secures the Baron buff for Black Manta. What a game coming out from Denza.
Black Manta just absolutely taking the Baron buff, and I don't know who this Denzer is you speak of. This is Denzed, as far as I'm concerned. He is putting on a performance and a half so far coming out from him, as well as the final items being finished up. You can see a couple of elixirs as well coming out, especially from Caliber, just waiting to pop that, eking and slowly just holding it in. Minus finally manages
actually, why the wolves though? Oh, the enchanted crystal arrow does go wide, so the bot lane will be wary of their positioning. They have been spotted out. Look at Denza finding a catch onto Alafeld. The Ash is forced to flash away, and mentally unstable with the biggest kick of his life is going to find multiple members of Primordials. Black Manta, they are finding a crucial team fight. Baron buff in hand, inhibitor missing from mid lane, mentally unstable with the pure mechanics. Look at this absolute madman. The Zonius is going to be popped. What's the timing? Oh my god, that's the cleanest Lee Sin I've ever seen in my life, and he's going to get the kill onto Ninez. Black Manta, they make their bid for the playoffs. Denza in a 1v1 versus Slayon, but he will try to use the fancy feet to get away. This is Renekton, pretty strong, but look at Black Manta. They make their bid for playoffs. They are looking to end the game, and that's going to be the Nexus taken down. It is Black Manta 2-0 on Primordials, and I believe playoffs secured for them. Welcome to the SLE playoffs.
Black Manta will not yield. Black Manta will not give up. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. They will take your Nexus. They will take everything you own. 2-0 for Black Manta and Sovanix, like you said, cementing themselves into the playoffs 10-on-8, and they should be well and truly in the playoff contention.
They are indeed, and what a story they have had. Black Manta have destroyed 3 Nexuses this entire split, and they're in the playoffs. I think that is a feat that no other team has been able to achieve. And for BLM, congratulations, but for Primordials, we say goodbye to them. And they've been a staple of the SLE for a few splits now, and as sad as it is to see them fall down and in this fashion, we do commend them. Big salute, everyone in the chat. Big salute, 07 to Primordials for their participation. All their games was such a pleasure. And Desa, your MVP for this series, who's it going to be?
I for a second I thought you were calling me MVP. I was like, oh, thank you, but yeah, definitely for me, it's gonna be interesting to see as well. As I believe we do have a poll in chat, so make sure you guys vote for the MVP as well. And
I think Lee Sin will win MVP.
I think it.
The thing is, Lee Sin, all right, mentally unstable. He gave us a good time. He gave Primordials a good time. He gave BLM a good time. He ticked every single box imaginable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How often is it that you can give such an enjoyable experience to the enemy team and your own team and win the game anyway? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I definitely think when you like look at content-wise, this is definitely up there as the biggest content we've had, and it does look like so far 7x. I will be honest, the jungle Lee Sin does seem to be winning the poll, so you can see mentally unstable definitely making a difference in our hearts and minds, if not making a difference in the winning status of Primordials. But going back to my MVP of the game, I'm gonna have to give it up. I believe it is Denzer. To me, again, Sovanix, we said this earlier. We said this in game. We said this before the game. The best Zed we have seen in SLE. Hashtag Denzer.
Hashtag Denzer indeed. I'm going to join you on the Denzer train, a player who I rate very highly and is being completely slept on. I'm excited to see what he does in playoffs. More excited to see mentally unstable. I hope that Lee Sin, please, whoever's against them, please ban Lee Sin. Just for your own sake. You don't want to mess with this guy's Lee Sin. Or leave it open so that we can all watch it. But yeah. For now, double 2-0s series has ended. The stream is now going to come to a close. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. These were some of the a lot of stomps, but some of the funnest games I've casted. Very, very funny. It was great, as always, to cast alongside with you, Dasa. Great to have Pepper being the producer. And do you have any closing statements before we head off?
I mean, not really. I just feel like remember mentally as was the MVP of the night, and of course, I thank you for thank you from myself as well to everyone who ended up staying for the night and everyone who ended up watching. And so, Alex, I think it's time for us to bring ourselves to bed and finally let Peppa go to bed as well. He's been yawning behind the screens this entire time, so it's definitely time to let the man go.
Time to let the man go. And thank you very much, everyone. Good night.